Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Buenas noches, Craig.
Buenas
Soy
noches,
Daniel Pineda.
Señor Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo. No Spanish here.
Buenas noches, and we hope you all survived Tax Day
Tax
and
Day
are
2015.
faring well with your refunds. This is our post-Tax Day show for 2015. We have our news and CBB, and of course Adele is here with
It's Easy Being Green.
Everyone join in. Also, Shannon Augustus is here with an interview. Our CBB, which I mentioned, Nort Beckerman in his Brain Healthy Minute, and Miriam Gennari interviewing Ravi Shankar, and they're going to be talking about tennis. And that's our show, but before we go, a social media reminder from my partner.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, and also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
All right, check us out there on those social media outlets. So here we go, our first story, our news item. Well, perhaps it's because of the resurgence of comic book characters in the media lately, but there is another local colorfully named bandit. We've had the Black Hat Bandits and the Bicycle Bandits. The newest villain is the Sharp-Dressed Bandit. He was apprehended thanks to the efforts of Arlington County Police, who teamed up with FBI and Alexandria Police. The man is Sonny Perrick. He lives in Arlington. He robbed 3 banks across the district, Alexandria and Arlington, before authorities finally caught up with him on Wednesday, April 8th. They found him, they nabbed him in the 1400 block of North Scott Street here in Arlington. He was 6 foot to 6'5" in height, 30-year-old, and he dressed in a business suit, accessorized with a scarf, a pea coat, sunglasses, and/or a laptop bag. He would walk into a bank near closing time and then pass the teller a note demanding money and threatening to use a weapon. Then he would flee the scene, and after the teller complied with his wishes. He is currently in jail without bond. And also we have this news update. One of the 2 Black Hat Bandits was apprehended. 66-year-old Thomas Anthony George of Southeast D.C. So they've got half of the Black Hat Bandit duo. It's good news. Daniel.
Great news, yes. Well, Craig, Arlington County Board is considering accepting a $30,970 state grant to monitor Ebola. The money is to support monitoring and response coordination efforts for people coming back to the county from Ebola-affected countries. It will pay for a temporary staff person and office supplies. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and other news items. Well, Arlington Economic Development, or AED, is working to increase Arlington's share of foreign direct investment. The Department of Commerce hosted the Select USA Investment Summit last month to support companies from around the world that want to invest in the U.S. AED, Arlington Economic Development, Virginia Economic Development Partnership, Washington, D.C., and the Greater Washington China Investment Center hosted a pre-summit reception for the Chinese contingent. AED is interested in attracting Chinese businesses to Arlington. China's delegation had over 85 companies represented, including Alibaba, Wanda, and Fosun. To learn more about this, you can check out their website, www.arlingtonvirginiausa.com. Daniel.
Well, Craig, another country that's been in the news a lot lately is Cuba. While the country inches closer to being removed from the U.S. state terrorism list, a local teacher is looking for help to fund an educational trip there. He plans to share his knowledge with local businesses interested in investing and with his students. Tom Lenningham is a social studies teacher at Yorktown High School and an adjunct professor at Marymount University. Joined Tulane University's Cuban Culture and Society Teacher Institute. The program runs from June 20th through July the 4th and costs over $4,000. He's looking for sponsors to help fund the trip. Visit GoFundMe.com/RDK6U4 to learn more about his trip and donate. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and also in our news items, this one from Arlington Public Schools. The school board is pushing ahead with its plan to give every student an iPad or a MacBook device by 2017. This effort has already provided 2nd and 6th graders with iPads and the freshmen with MacBook Airs. Next year, the new students in those grades will get devices again. The move has faced some backlash from the public, however, so stay tuned for more on that one. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Pete Erickson, founder of the MoDev company, which hosts the mobile phone software development conference by the same name, is vowing that he will save Artisphere. The group's first conference was hosted in December 2011 at Artisphere, and it's had about 40 conferences since. The county budget will be approved on April the 18th. Erickson has come through with a solution to Artisphere's funding problem by then. Otherwise, the institution will close for good on June the 30th. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and finally in our news items, the first of Metro's new 7,000 series train cars, which was ordered back in 2010, has finally made it into service. The new cars are in use on the Blue Line just for a short while now. The new cars are safer, cleaner, and more modern, and so far they've gotten good news, good reviews from Metro riders. So that's good news about the new cars in Metro. All right, we'll be back with our CBB file right after we hear from Adele and
It's Easy Being Green.
Here's Adele.
Welcome, my name is Adele Quo, and it's easy being green if every day is Earth Day in Arlington. My mascot, Joe Tree Frog, has some great news. All of you interested to hear this? Usher, No Doubt, and Common are scheduled to headline the 45th Annual Earth Day Rally and Concert on the National Mall on Saturday, April 18th. While over 1 billion people in 190 countries on April 22nd will take action for Earth Day. From San Francisco to San Juan, Beijing to Brussels, Moscow to Marrakesh, people will plant trees, clean up their communities, contact their elected officials, and more, all on behalf of the environment, to encourage awareness of the growing problems of air, water, and soil pollution. If you missed Arlington's Green at Home remodeling event, you can still learn about practical ways to green your lifestyle, because every day is Earth Day in Arlington. Watch your screen. Here's 2 upcoming free green-themed home and garden events. The first one, Sustainable Home Renovations, Tuesday, April 21st, 7 to 8 p.m. at Walter Reed Community Center. Join the Arlington County Green Home Choice Program Manager to learn how even a small renovation project, like a bathroom, kitchen, or basement, can reduce energy and water consumption, save money on energy bills, and make your home beautiful, more comfortable, and more valuable and sustainable. Second, there's a design considerations for sustainable gardening on Monday, April 27th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at Fairlington Community Center. Learn how to make smart, sustainable, and beautiful plant selections for your yard. Choose the right plant for the right location to avoid wasting your money buying plants that don't look right where you plant them. They require a lot of care or don't survive. Registration is requested, so sign up online at mgnv.org and make it a year-round commitment to protect the environment by taking everyday steps such as attending an event from a wide array of programs, often free, to help build a greener future. So remember, it's easy being green if you make every day Earth Day at home and in your garden.
Good idea. Every day should be Earth Day.
That's right.
Very good. Thanks, Adele.
And great concerts.
We appreciate it.
Yes, be there.
All right, we'll be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file right after we hear from Shannon Augustus and her guest. Here's Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Good evening. So we all have smartphones. I have mine right here. And we've all probably sent a text message that we wish we hadn't. So that's you. You're in luck, because I'm here with Maci Peterson, founder of A Second Thought,
On Second Thought,
an app that helps people edit and kind of resend some text messages. She's going to talk to us about that today. Maci, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Shannon, for having me. How are you?
Thank you for coming in. How does this app work?
It's super easy. You just go to the Google Play Store, which is where we are right now, and you download the app. And then in the app settings, you set On Second Thought as your default SMS messenger, which means that every text message sent to or received from the phone will go through On Second Thought. And then in those settings, you can also set your grace period, which is the amount of time that you have to take that message back. And so you can do it for up to 60 seconds. And I have mine set at 5 seconds because I'm a little bit impatient. But what that means is that after hitting send, I have 5 seconds to swipe left to take back my message.
That is awesome. So 5 seconds to up to a minute. That's great to
up to a minute, yeah.
To look and say, oh wait, I didn't mean to say that, or there's a misspelling, or
right.
something like that.
Or autocorrect just has a vendetta against me.
Same here. So, how did you come up with an idea like this?
Autocorrect has a vendetta against me. So
tell me about that.
I've been in some very embarrassing text messaging situations. One time, one of my ex-boyfriends had been calling me, and for some reason I kept missing his calls. I wasn't avoiding them because we're friends, but I just kept missing them. And so I had written, hey, for some reason I keep missing your calls, but autocorrect changed it to, hey, for some reason I keep missing that part of your nail anatomy that rhymes with calls.
Oh, no.
And I was like, calls, I didn't mean that. And he was like, I mean, whatever. And, you know, the natural reaction is to just start slamming your fingers against your phone, and that doesn't do anything. And so I sent, well, first I checked the App Store to see if there was anything there like it, and at the time there was not. And then I did a Google search to see if there was anything there, and at the time there was nothing there. And so I started texting my friends, asking them, hey, have you ever sent a message that you wished you could take back?
And everyone said yes.
Overwhelmingly, everyone said yes. Yeah, and one said, yes, what do you have in mind? I want to invest. And that's how we got started.
That's super cool. And so tell me, how did you get into, because I don't know anything about developing apps or coding or anything like that. How did you get into that? How did you kind of?
Well, On Second Thought is my second business. I started my first one when I was in college. It was called Mari Magazine, and it was a magazine, obviously, for women of the African diaspora ages 18 to 24. And so that was my first foray into being an entrepreneur. It was a digital magazine, so also working in the tech space. And for On Second Thought, shortly after coming up with the idea, I received information about a pitch competition at South by Southwest. And they were calling for everything from full products to just ideas. And I said, well, I have an idea, and that's about it. So I applied to that pitch competition, got accepted, and that week I pitched it at South by Southwest and won first place. And so that was really the validation that, one, I had a product that people were interested in, but two, that I also had a viable business. And so from there I brought on my technical co-founder, and we started building because my background is in business. And so I brought on someone who had the technical chops to really get this going.
Awesome. And so what would you say to entrepreneurs or people thinking about kind of starting their own business? What kind of advice can you give them?
I would say be bold.
That's
really what it takes is, you know, even if you don't know anyone in the industry, if you don't know anything about the industry, be bold, find things out. If you hear about a pitch competition or conference or anything, go to it. And I mean, even when I was in college, I attended this conference and they called for editors-in-chiefs, and I was, you know, a 20-year-old editor-in-chief, and I was like, well, I deserve to be there. And from that, I got some of the best mentors I've ever had. And so be bold, be confident, and something that I always say is just know that you know that you know that this is what you have, that this is what is meant for you. And so I have my confidence and my faith from that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Maci, for coming in and speaking with us today. And this is Shannon Augustus. Thank you for watching Arlington Weekly News. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Get that app for all you would-be copy editors out there. Yeah, okay. Shannon Augustus. Here we go. It's moving right along now. As promised on this, our post-tax day edition of the Arlington Weekly News for 2015. Pre-Earth Day, post-tax day. Thank you, Adele. Here's our, as promised, our CBB file. News for Seniors glasses on early tonight. Whether or not the Artisphere closes for good, here is one event that they will be able to host. The Minimum Viable Product Conference will run at the Artisphere May 18 and 19. It is hosted by MoDev and sponsored by Capital One. If you're someone involved in product development, especially in the technology area, then you'll want to attend this conference. The speakers are from several influential companies, including Zappos, Capital One, AOL, and Vox Media. And tickets range from about $400 to $700, so it's not a freebie, so Call them for more information or check their website, mvpconference or conf.com for more details. Daniel.
Well, Craig, if you want to work more on your career plan than industry knowledge, then you'll want to attend an upcoming career strategy seminar. Visit the careerpathpartners.com to learn about a 4-part fun series. You can register online at Eventbrite. The series runs from April the 27th through May the 18th and will help you with your resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, and personal branding, networking, and your elevator pitch. Craig.
Alrighty, and speaking of Earth Day, and since this is our pre-Earth Day show, if you're a member of a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the environment and the environment, then you may be interested in this. I'll get through this here in this story here. Transurban, the company which operates the 495 and 95 express lanes, has just started a program called the 495 and 95 Express Lanes Community Grant. The goal is to help Northern Virginia organizations that sustain, enhance, or protect the local environment and broader Northern Virginia community. The application categories and deadlines are June 30th for environment, September 30th for community, and December 31st for safety. For details, visit their website. It's expresslanes, all one word, .com/grant-program. Daniel.
Well, Craig, if you're an art lover, then you're in luck. This weekend is the 3rd annual Arlington Festival of the Arts from Saturday, April the 18th to Sunday, April the 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. You can look at art from the nation's best new and established artists. It's hosted by the Clarendon Alliance and produced by Howard Allen. The exhibit will be on Washington Boulevard, Clarendon Boulevard, and North Highland Street. For more information, visit the website at artfestival.com or call them at 561-746-6615.
All right, Daniel, and we apologize to our News for Seniors viewers. Our News for Seniors segment is AWOL this week. Hopefully we'll get it back again next week. As promised, now moving right along on this edition of the Arlington Weekly News, here's Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute.
Hi, I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I started to study the brain and brain function in an effort to cure my own cognitive problems. Now I'm always talking about brain health, suggesting things that you can do to maintain a healthy brain. But if you lead a relatively normal, functional life, you probably don't believe that your brain isn't as healthy as it should be. Why should I insinuate that it is? And why should you do the things I suggest? The answer is that until recently, we've considered our brain to be a fixed genetic inheritance that stays the same throughout life. That isn't the case at all. Your brain is constantly changing together with what it can and can't do. But what you do and don't do is reflective of what your brain can and can't do. A healthy brain can do much more than an unhealthy brain can do, particularly in the areas of memory and learning. We live under the myth that aging causes cognitive decline. It doesn't. Cognitive decline occurs when the brain is unhealthy, when it can no longer perform the tasks it once did. It's more difficult for an unhealthy brain to receive, process, store, and retrieve needed data. That makes memory and learning much harder. Doing new things becomes more difficult. You do less. Your brain draws less blood, and you have more difficulty with your cognitive abilities. Believing that aging causes cognitive decline puts you into a self-fulfilling downward spiral. You want to avoid that by keeping your brain healthy. I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I'll see you next time for a Brain Healthy Minute.
All right, thanks, Nort.
Thank you,
And
Nort.
don't forget, it's never too late to train your brain, learn something new, eat a healthy diet, get out there and exercise. And our Nort Beckerman Train Your Brain guru is sitting right over here in the studio, so thanks, Nort.
Thank you, Nort.
Appreciate the information on how to train your brain. Okay, normally this would be our News for Seniors segment. We'll hopefully have that back again next week here, so stay tuned for News for Seniors. Right now, we're, what are we doing now? I forgot, almost forgot. Oh, yes, we're entering Miriam. Miriam Gennari is here with her guest. Here's Miriam.
Sorry.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Ravi Shankar. Ravi is going to get us all motivated with this lovely spring weather out on the tennis courts. How are you, Ravi?
Doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the program that you're offering in D.C., Maryland, and in Virginia called Smart Tennis.
I think it's a cool concept. It helps connect tennis player, and one of the biggest problem is not the tennis courts, but finding people to play tennis at the time you are available and you want somebody else to play tennis.
It's fascinating because I play a little tennis, but I know that my husband doesn't enjoy playing with me. He wants to play a vigorous game.
It's not only you, almost husband, wife, and girlfriend, boyfriend. It's always the case that it doesn't go very well.
It goes. They play on different levels.
They play different levels. Yeah.
So what you do is through your Smart Tennis program, you introduce people, or they find one another, and then they arrange to play.
Yes, they can arrange matches at their convenience.
In a location.
In a location which is convenient for them, and even if you play in a tournament or in a league, what happens is there's set times where you may have something else to do, and you just can't find.
Oh, sure. You take your weekends off to go play in a tournament.
Yeah.
And how many times have players gone to tournaments and maybe got knocked out in the first or second round and spent all that money and didn't really get to play?
That's another thing. Yeah. Including that, there's another thing that somebody who's just starting to play tournaments, I think as a coach, it takes almost like 15 to 20 matches for them to get used to the match temperament, to tournament level kind of understanding. And sometimes for kids or even adults, it's when they lose in the first round, they prepare for almost like a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they lose in the first round. Not only they lose that time and money, but
their confidence maybe.
Yes.
Well, you brought some video of some of your players playing competitively. And while we bring up the video, I just want to say that, also not just my husband, but my daughter plays tennis too. And I noticed that even though she has a wonderful game when she's playing on the courts locally with friends or with my husband, the way she plays in competition is very different. And to have the opportunity to compete, like your players are in the video, will be something you have to adapt to. So talk about how your players adapt when they're playing. Oh, here we are. Here's some now. Ravi, what is different about playing in competition as opposed to just rallying on the courts?
Most of the time, if you play with players who you play with them on regular basis, what happens is you are not in a kind of like a alert mode, and it's playing with the different players. It just brings a level of intensity that you want to win, and you want to not only win but play a good game.
These players look not only competitive, but they've got their game face on. And I guess it's a little bit different when you you meet a player that you don't feel sorry for, or you're not going to take it easy on, and you go out there and you do your best. I mean, look at this young lady. She is rocking it.
Absolutely. She's, yes.
And now, so right now you started enrolling people in your program.
Yes, our season. Our season just started.
So how does the program work?
So there are 3 seasons, and once you sign up for the season, right now the spring season is on. Once you sign up for the season, it's for 3 months, and you can play as many matches as you want. not only for people who just want to play 3 or 4 matches, but for people who want to play almost every day. So there's no limitation to play. You can play 2 matches a day too.
And so my understanding is it's not just a competition on the courts, you're also keeping score with some prize at the end, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a unique system. Anytime you win a match, you can post scores, and then you win certain points in certain time, then you win prizes too.
Okay. And are there specific age levels, or?
There are different age levels, and it starts from 14 and it goes up to 14 plus. So it goes up to 60, even 60-year-olds can play matches in this system.
Well, what I think is really interesting is that even if a student's being coached or playing on a team, playing more competitive matches has got to improve their game.
Absolutely. That's what the main idea is. That especially for kids, as they play more competitive tennis, they improve. And they can go back to their coaches and they say, oh, this was the problem. My forehand was not working. I was not consistent. My serve is not strong enough. And it helps coaches that way when they play often and they can recognize this is the problem, go to their coaches and work on their games.
I think it helps their parents too, because what parents really want, and again, I'm speaking for young people, but you invest a lot of money in these lessons, skills and techniques, but what you really want to see are your children, really get worked up and enthusiastic about the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. It works very well with academies. Like, this is the experience kids want, the competitive experience.
I would much rather see them competing off the couch, away from their video games.
I absolutely agree.
And what's really nice, I think, also about Smart Tennis is that you bring people in locally, so they don't have to travel a long way. They coordinate through your website, smart-tennis.com. Yes, and I understand you're working on an app. Tell me real quickly about that.
So with the app, it's probably going to be about 2-3 months. We're working on it, but with the app, you can see, it's just like Uber. You can see how far the players are available, or if there are 5 players available at about your level in your area, and you can see, and you can click on the player, and you can see their level, and if they're available, they're willing to play with you. You just set up right away in seconds.
All right, well, that sounds wonderful. And I hope that if I join, there'll be somebody who just wants to rally and play as well.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, Ravi, I want to thank you so much for coming here and telling us about Smart Tennis, getting us enthusiastic about getting outdoors. Good luck. Please check out Ravi's website at smart-tennis.com. Thanks for watching The Sustainable Scoop. We'll see you on the courts.
All right, thanks, Miriam, and all you tennis players, get out there and play a little tennis. It's tennis weather. A shout out to our friend Rich, who's on the mend. We miss you, Rich. Get back here soon. Thanks to all of you for watching. Have a safe week. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.